Hello, this is High Templar, and welcome to the new episode of my Total War Warhammer Mechanics videos. And today we'll be talking about Vortex Spells. So recently I spent like 60 plus hours on testing different spells in different scenarios, and I've noticed something very wrong with different spells, and that would also mean Vortex Spells, because some of them doesn't seem to be really that effective in some cases. I mean, some schools are just better, like way better. And I just wanted to show you some of those. And that will be actually two different videos. Firstly will be showing you all the tests, and secondly showing you all the statistics. So if you're just not feeling like looking at those tests, you might just see the results and what I think about it. But it would be interesting to see those tests, because you would see how those vortices are behaving, because I have seen two different behaviors from vortices, and I can basically tell you that some of them are just slow moving, some of them are fast moving, and that is making them more or less predictable. So also I would like to see what type of damage they do in what situations, and those tests, the statistics will tell you which one is better, but still you wouldn't be able to compare it to buffing spells, for example, if you don't know exactly in what situations they were used. So let's start with this one, and this will be testing Purple Sun firstly. I mean, different really spells on those great swords. So we will be testing heavy armored infantry, starting with the Purple Sun. And as you can see, that was not very good spell. I mean, it went all the way out of those units, not in them, but still, look at that damage. That is pretty nice damage on those. That is 7,600 damage. I actually counted for every spell casted in every test I did, and I did more than 40 tests. I counted every hit point that was dealt to those units. So 7,600 damage dealt to the great swords. That is more than a single great sword unit actually have for 12 mana. That's actually pretty nice, considering that was not actually in those units that went out. But this is statistics, so you will see how this works. And then we'll have a Flamestorm. Flamestorm costs 26 mana, more than twice of Purple Sun. This is Purple Sun. And then we'll have this guy casting here. Flamestorm. This is overcasted Flamestorm. Pretty drastic. Growing through those units. Devastating some of those great swords, although they were already damaged by the Purple Sun, but then going away. As you can see, it's moving much faster and much further away than the Purple Sun. And this particular Flamestorm actually did 4,767 damage for 26 mana. That seems not very high. But what you need to remember is that fire spells actually do deal a lot less damage to armored units, but they actually behave quite nice. And this will be Golden Hounds of Gehenna firing all the way up here. Going, as you can see, another slow moving vortex, right? Moving a bit here, moving a bit there, but not like very far, not from here to here like the previous one. Still, this Golden Gehenna Hounds dealing 3,700 health damage. So yeah, pretty nice. For the spell that only costs 15. And actually you would see that this is a very effective spell used in multitude of situations, and actually pretty nice. Like the Purple Sun, the Golden Hounds of Gehenna, slow moving, not moving very far away, and more reliable than fire spells or chain or lightning spells, Vortex. Alright, and the last one would be Burning Head. We'll have to wait for it for a bit. But in general, fire spells will do a lot more damage to unarmored units, almost making it worth to take, because remember that if you can cast Purple Sun at your very elite units and take out the unit of greatswords, actually damage few units of greatswords but make them a lot weaker, that might be more useful than dealing a lot of damage to Bretonnian spears or orc boys or anything really. And the Burning Head right now going very fast, very much out of it, dealing only 1050 damage. Getting to that unit also, but not doing anything pretty much. So that was pretty pathetic. This time Burning Head only 1050 damage for 19, that was overcasted Burning Head, 19 mana. Pretty bad. So let's see, as you can see, lots of tests here. Let's see different scenario against some greatswords, and this will be something more simulating the real battlefield. So units will not be clumped up so badly. That will be more or less a line there. Although I did see some of the players using very tight formations. Like the strategy professor, who has also a YouTube channel, and he's doing tight formations a lot. And I'm doing tight formations in many situations, like in taking the cities, for example. I do love to take very tight formations, and in that situation, casting Vortex Spells on me would be pretty devastating. So, like I said, this is not very tight as before. Still have greatsword, still have few units. Something you might see AI do, something you might see other players will do on the battlefield, making a line of their units. Now Vortex spell behave, like I said, a pretty similar way. First spell would be Purple Sun again. The slow moving are kind of moving in the circle of sorts, like the Purple Sun right now, you will see. Moving slightly here, moving slightly there, and that's it. And this Purple Sun dealing actually 5324 damage to those not very clamped up units. That I believe that's pretty nice. The next one will be going will be Flamestorm, casted I believe somewhere here, but those guys are moving. Yeah, Flamestorm right here, but going way off. The fire spells are actually way more predictable. Chain lightning spells and similar, going all the way this way or that way. Little Wasp spell, I mean the Curse of the Bad Moon or something like that, is actually moving very similar, moving fast, unpredictable, and going way off the chart. And this Flamestorm only linked 3200 damage, not that much. I mean quite very little for the spell that cost 2600. Then we have Golden Hounds of Gehenna, 1500 cost, casted on this very not tight formation. You might find that formation on the battlefield easily. And the previous time, Golden Hounds of Gehenna going all the way off from those units, 3700. This time the Golden Hounds of Gehenna will do 4136 damage, going into 3 units of swords. So again, pretty fair damage. Obviously, nearly not as much as Flock of Doom, but more than Devolve. right now. The wolf right now would be dealing in this situation around 3000 damage. Now, what we have here? Then we have, let's test the fire spells against graveguards. So again, tight formation here. And the fire spells are supposed to be better against the regenerating units, so I am bringing the Necromancer, obviously. And I am bringing the same situation, so the same Purple Sun, the same Flamestorm, Purple Sun, Flamestorm and Golden Hounds in this test again. As you can see, we'll have to wait for a bit, 3-4 minutes here, going fast forward, but still have to wait. This sometimes you start with so low mana and you cannot pop any Arcane Conduit because all of them are on the charge. But yeah, Purple Son of Xerxes right now, going into those graveyards, there and back, dealing 6000 damage for 12 hit points. Again, high value unit. That's actually pretty decent. If you put it on the Stersman, if you put it on any unit that is actually high amount like Chosen, I mean, imagine taking down the Chosen, then will be Firestorm. Firestorm, this one is again going out, but this Firestorm will be going back if my memory serves me well. I mean, I can see the statistics, so I know it actually dealt quite a significant damage, but like all the fire spells, it's not very predictive, dealing 6165 damage in total for 26 mana. Still, Purple Son of Xerxes was better, even though used against those guys. And then finally we have Golden Hounds. We have to wait like 20 seconds more for it. But those Golden Hounds of Gehenna popped up here, just here, dealing 7,125 damage. That's brutal. But yeah, that was a very nice Vortex spell, I admit. But still, 7,000, that's crazy. 15 damage, 15 mana for this one. And yeah, then we'll go for test 4, which is interesting in the... Well, I wanted to show you some of the best uses of the Vortex spell, and they happened almost for the heavy armored unit, and they happened all together. I mean, Hounds of Gehenna will be slightly less effective, but if you will see that Purple Sun, that will be crazy. So yeah, let's just wait for it. High clump of units, as you can see here. And following spells will be a little bit faster. Those one take some time, but you can see this Purple Sun going through those units and taking, look at this unit, and this, and this, and this, and this. That is total of 14,725 damage for 12 mana. That must be pretty impressive. And then I will be casting Firestorm. As usual, overcasted Firestorm, 26 mana, going off anytime, yep. And this one going through those units, absolutely devastating them, and yeah, it's picking up this unit also, going off for a moment, but will be going back into those units. This is actually a very long spell, and if you overcast it, you should not expect it. No, it actually didn't work back into them. Maybe that was different test, but still, in this test 10,316 damage. That's pretty effective, if you ask me. Although still, Purple Sun much more effective against lightly armored unit, heavy armored unit. For this amount of mana, and then Golden Hounds going through those units, they will deal less damage, but mostly because they went off and they actually started on very damaged unit, but still dealing 6,500 for 15 mana. So in these situations, those Vortex Spells are actually decent. I'm not saying better than Flock of Doom or say Wind of Death, but actually quite decent. So next one, let's test some Burning Heads and some more Hounds of Gehenna, because we just want to make sure that this is a solid spell. But Burning Heads against Graveyards, we haven't really seen that. We only have seen Burning Heads being used against Greatsword. And we do want to see that in action. So again, you can see that those statistics that I will do in a separate video, and I will mention that in that video, are not really that trustworthy, because some of those spells are getting way off and some of those spells getting way on. And if you will wait till the end, and when I will be testing against light units, you will see that you can get crazy damage. So this is Burning Head going through all those guys, dealing actually 7,730 damage. One of the best Burning Heads I have seen against, that was one of the best, almost the best using heavy targets, and that's against heavy targets, and it went off quite quickly, unfortunately, but there will be another casted, and I will try to cast it diagonally, if my memory serves me well, through all those units, and I will be hoping it will not go off too much, and maybe it will go, that's not. Yeah, but it's going like not really in where I wanted. This one is only 13,500 health. Very poor. Very poor. And then we'll be casting again Golden Hounds of Gehenna. So those Burning Heads costing 19 mana. That's a lot. And the Golden Hounds of Gehenna also overcasted, so we can get same with Burning Heads. The Golden Hounds of Gehenna and the Burning Head is actually giving more of area. So more of area is obviously better for Vortex Spell. It's not very narrow, it's quite wide. But for Golden Hounds, it's not actually extending the time. For Burning Head, it is expanding the time twice. So this is pretty nice. And this Council Gehenna dealing more than 6,700, 67 and 60 actually. So again, Hounds of Gehenna dealing very nice damage to heavy armored unit all the time. Then maybe we should try something more Empire wise, and we'll use the Light Wizard and the Wizard of Heaven, just so that we can use Chain Lightning and the Banishment. And this test will look like it's very long, but it's not, because the later spells I was using in that particular test were not Vortex spell, but I was testing, for example, Casadora here. I apologize for long loading time. When I do record in very good quality, it takes time. Just not really a way around it. So the same scenario here, but we will be casting, starting with the Chain Lightning. And the Chain Lightning will behave in the same way as Fire Spells. It will be fast moving, it will be going off detract a lot. So some of my guys are getting... Look at how small those Pegasus are. That's pretty small. But I have to watch the area, the stage area, you can say. I have started that one with pretty low mana, I believe. Because I'm still haven't actually cast that. Oh yeah, the chain lighting. Pretty cheap spell actually. How much it costs? 15 only, no overcasting. Dealing 4211 damage in this particular casting, but it went away quite quickly. But obviously a lot better than, say, Burning Head, and cheaper. And then we go with Banishment, and Banishment, you will see it's pretty much Purple Sun, only, you know, light-wise. And this particular Banishment dealing 12,184 damage. See those damaged units? That's pretty crazy. Oh yeah, next one will be Casadora. We will not be looking at that. Sorry. So, skipping to the next test, and this will be 7, I believe? Yes. The next one will be actually casted on some low armor units. These will be Orc Boys, only 30 armor here. And I will be using against them Curse of the Bad Moon. And this is Little One spell that is available. And this is again a fast moving spell. Very unpredictable. Let's just cast it on those low armor units and see how it will go. Curse of the Bad Moon, 16 cost. Pretty nasty spell. And this is, I guess, comparable to the chain lighting. It's pretty similar indeed. You can see how those guys are actually, looks like they are much more dense, but they are in more loose formation. So that's why, and they are bigger. There is actually not more of them than the Graveguards, 120 for each unit. Come on, cast this spell. And here, the Curse of the Bad Moon. And going off very quickly. Not dealing pretty much any damage. And this is, well, pretty disappointing really. This, and this. That's not that much. This is around 6,000. And you will see the other one, or this is 5,000. In total, they will deal, again, the other one. In total, they will deal 11,150 damage. Yeah, this one will be dealing slightly more. But still, dying quickly. Which is unfortunate. And the other thing about this spell is that when you see... Yeah, end replay. When you will see the deaths is actually 50 deaths on those guys. So for 11,000 damage, that's not much. But the Vortex spell do have that in common. They fire spells kill more people. Let's see another Orc Boys being attacked by the Burning Head. The Burning Head, and then there is Purple Sun, and then Golden Hounds. Starting with the Burning Heads because I want to test how effective those fire spells are against lightly armored units. So instead of Purple Sun, starting with the Burning Head. Also to maximize damage, because I didn't really believe it will do that much damage. In the previous tests against heavy armor targets, that was pretty terrible spell. Another thing about those Vortex spell, if the casting will go right for you, you can get a decisive victory, and decisive victory if you are playing ledger battles, is much more costly. You will get much more ranks than, like a Pyrrhic victory or close victory. Decisive victory is pretty awesome. So Burning Head in this very, very, very dense formation will be going in the center, going off quite fast, but look at the damage. It actually wasn't that long in, but this Burning Head did 9,000. Oh, it is going back. And that really, no, it just glanced the units. 9,000 health. That's pretty brutal. The next spell would be Purple Sun. And this particular Purple Sun will be pretty much similar to every other that we've seen, but it will deal less damage, which is very interesting because those guys, yeah, they are lighter than Graveguards and Greatswords. So maybe the Purple Sun spells are dealing more damage to the heavier units, like the explosions? Possibly? For the explosions, it's clearly visible if you do that on some of the... And then we will have Golden Hounds in few moments. So 6,700 dealt by the Golden Hounds. Like I said, pretty decent, but not more than to say Greatswords. Yeah, so here we might see that the Kolek attacking the dwarves in general, explosion spells on dwarves, they seem to be dealing a lot more damage. And that might be because of weight, and the same Foot of Gork if you cast it on the heavy cavalry. Have you seen that? That's absolutely crazy. I've seen one battle when the guy was casting it on 2 units of Chaos Knights with lances and it absolutely destroyed them. I will be doing testing on my own, and I will be doing... Actually, I've done a lot of testing with the explosion spells already. With the Foot of Gork and Valitite and all kinds of explosion spells. So you can see me... Sorry, fast forward obviously. But this is very short test, as you can see. It doesn't last for very long, because I will be casting a single spell, and this will be Flamestorm. And this is the most effective Flamestorm that I have seen so far in this game. Casted right now. Starting pretty slow. And it seems it's going all the way there, but it's going back. Anytime now? Yeah, this one's going back. Told you there will be one that's going back. Straight into this clump of units. Straight in there. Right in there. Right in there. And dying down there. 25,000 damage. 25,000. Another very quick Vortex test. $25,000 damage. Imagine that happening in your Let's Play if enemy is using against you like spam of units like Bretonia do on occasion, or the Greenskins do on occasion. That would be pretty brutal. That you might use something like that, and the vampire counts. If they use a spam of units against you, you have to kill that health somehow. That might be very effective, and you might be bringing the Fire Mage anyhow because you want to have, the boost, the augment spell that is giving your guys magical attack. And in this, we will be casting Purple Suns in this one, 2 Purple Suns. So those 2 Purple Suns, pretty much the same price as the previous Flamestorm. 2 Purple Suns are actually dealing quite nice damage, as you can see. Both Purple Suns in total dealing 18,000 damage. So again, very nice damage indeed, 9,000, pretty much 9,000 each. And this is something that you can use also against lighter units. And yeah, I mean, there are some factions that will bring lots of units. And I say Vampire Counts with Flame, you already have the right wizard, just pick this spell and it might really, really do stuff. But you probably say, well, this is too expensive and I will be using Fire Wizard for something else. You are bringing Fire Wizard anyhow, because you are worried that they will be bringing lots of ethereal units, basically. So those Purple Suns, 18,000, as I said before. And you might pick like a Burning Head spell, because Burning Spell Head will also be effective against those light armor units, against spam of units, and I will show you how. And if he won't bring any ethereal units, you might want to use that. And if he will be bringing any ethereal units, casting this Burning Head into midst of them will be absolutely drastic. Like, that will be crazy. Because this spell will deal a lot of damage to those units. Have to just stay in, but you have a backup. Burning Head spell doesn't take as much mana as Flamestorm, and it also can deal a lot of damage. So this previous one, 26 mana and 25,000 damage. This Burning Head will actually deal, yes, for 19 mana, this Burning Head will deal, let's just see that. I won't tell you. This is actually the best Burning Head I've seen in my Let's Play so far, and it's going off. Look at those Marauders. This is even lighter armor than the previous guys. It's going away, and then it's going back. It's going all the way through this tight clump of units, destroying it almost completely, dealing 28,000 damage. 28,000. 28,061 to be very precise. If that's not brutal, I don't know what is. For 19, so you can use it against lighter units, you can use it against Vampire Counts who will bring a lot of. You can use it in 2 versus 2. In 2 versus 2, if your enemies are defending and you are attacking, that will be a very, very useful spell, because they will have lots of units probably clamped up, that, you know. And the other one is going very nicely through all those units, but it will only deal 9,700 damage still. In the total of that is 37,000 damage dealt to those guys. That's very bad for them, basically. And in the last one, I just wanted to show you some more average use of the light wizard and the heaven wizard against the lighter units. Again, Marauders here. Just some basics. And we will be casting again Chain Lightning first, 15 mana cost, and Banishment second, 22 mana cost. And this will be the last test I will be showing you. I just wanted to show you how those Vortex spells are behaving, how much damage do they deal. And yeah, this is Chain Lightning first. This is pretty nice Chain Lightning, although it is being used against light units, probably waste of mana in this particular case, but it does deal 7,000, more than 7,000 health of damage to those units. And as you can see, going all the way off very quickly, very fast moving spell. Pretty much with the same with the Burning Head and Flamestorm, always behaving the same way, going way far off. And they will be casting Banishment, which, like Purple Sun, likes to stay in one area, is moving slowly, much slower, probably because it's changing because of the speed, and it's changing direction like randomly every few seconds. It did went off, unfortunately, but it didn't went off that far, and still the Banishment dealt 6,300, more than 6,300 damage. So yeah, that is it for all those tests. I will present you with the statistics. I just need to write them down and create a slide so I can show it to you somehow. But it seems pretty obvious, and also I wanted to show you something else. I wanted to show you how you will react to those tests. If you will see those tests and then see the statistics, you will be surprised, because you are seeing one thing and you are seeing this Purple Sun dealing almost 15,000 damage and stuff like that, and then you will compare them to, actually, if you count all of them, divide them by the time, divide them by the mana cost, you might be surprised that some of them will be more effective than you think, and they will be more closer to each other than you think. So that is it. I hope you like it. If you did, press like, comment if you will, and see my other videos, my mechanics videos and my DLC analysis and speculation videos for Total War series, but also my Let's Plays in Total War series and other games. Thank you for watching, and see you later.